Ladies and gentlemen, come right on in. Be sure to grab some popcorn, grab a blanket, and welcome to Movie Night at Harry's. I'm super excited to start this channel, and today we're kicking things off with a series called First Watch. These are movies that I've never seen before and will be experiencing for the very first time. Whether the movie is good or bad, it doesn't matter. All that matters is watching tons of movies across all types of genres. That way you can sort of develop a better sense of how to watch movies, and who knows, you might even pick up a new favorite along the way. So let's go ahead and get things started. This movie was released in 2008 under director Catherine Hardwicke. She had just won an award at the Sundance Film Festival for her movie 13, which was released in 2003. This movie made over $390 million at the box office. Now, at the time, it was the biggest opening weekend for a female director. Pretty big deal. Now, there's mixed reviews from critics and from the fans of the novel that the movie is actually based on. The romantic fantasy stars an 18-year-old Kristen Stewart alongside a very young Robert Pattinson, who is fresh off his role in the Harry Potter series. This is Twilight. Yeah, that was a lot going on right there. Let's head over to the director's chair and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Twilight, there's a lot more bad than good, but we'll go ahead and start with the good. The plot progresses pretty smoothly. It's pretty simple. It's not really complicated in any way. The second act is probably the best. This is where Bella starts her discovery of Edward and his family, the vampire lore of the area. It really starts to move quickly at this point in the movie. The beginning is a little slow. The first act is actually really slow, but things really start to pick up in the second act when Bella starts to discover things about Edward, starts to piece things together with the books and the library. Some of the romantic themes actually translate pretty well. They incorporate Edward's sense of smell as like this tension of attraction in the very beginning. Edward can't stay away from Bella. Bella feels like she is bound to Edward for the rest of her life. It makes it almost drug-like Bella is addicted to Edward and vice versa. The movie does end on a romantically high note. You have Bella and Edward in that dance scene right there at the end. Bella professes her love for Edward and says she wants to be a vampire forever. Honestly, the best well-acted character in the movie might actually be Bella's dad. Is played by Billy Burke. He's just like a really solid dad. You know, he's protective, he's lackadaisical, he's got the shotgun ready for the first date between Bella and Edward. You know, he's got dad jokes. He's just a really solid dad in the movie. I will say this though, Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart do have really good on-camera chemistry. It's essential for a romantic movie though. You gotta have your two leads flow really well together on camera, but also off camera, and that seems to be the case in this movie. I also find the dark blue filter over the majority of the movie to be a very interesting choice. I think it works here being that it is the Northwest Washington area. It's very rainy. It fits the climate. It fits kind of the vibe of the movie, especially in the beginning where things are very mysterious. Now, let's talk about the bad. The bad in this movie definitely outweighs the good. First off, there's a lot of unnecessary camera movement, especially with the scene in the woods. There's tons of these sort of wraparound shots in the woods of Bella and Edward. There's these sort of whooshing, diagonal, shaky cam shots. It just doesn't work. You want your camera movement in a movie to serve a purpose. And a lot of these shots are really just kind of there for variety's sake, which isn't a good reason to do them. There's nothing captivating about the cinematography in the movie. The first act is not captivating at all. Things really don't start to pick up until the second act. And I get it. Edward saved Bella's life in the parking lot from the car. But is the romance really believable in this movie? By the end, Bella says that she wants to live with him forever. And I just don't get it. It doesn't seem very believable. Like, Bella's into some really weird stuff. It doesn't even cross her mind to run away from this guy. The movie is also unintentionally funny. Like, I found myself laughing more times than I should have watching this movie. The worst part is in the beginning. The facial acting, Robert Pattinson, Kristen Stewart, they have scenes where their eyes and their mouths are just wide open. It's just comical. Like, you can't help but laugh. Now, all that being said, I did have this weird sense of nostalgia when the credits started rolling. Hearing Linkin Park play, I was just going back to when I was in school and the movie came out. I can remember watching the award shows on cable TV, just the amount of awards they won, just cast, crew, music. It just brought me back to 2008, just listening to Linkin Park on the radio and watching cable television. It's weird. The movie was ingrained in the culture, and that's something that has to be recognized. Overall, I'd give this movie a C-. The script was soft, and some of the acting really is just mediocre. The movie as a whole is comprehensible, but it's not captivating. I don't know about you, but I always love knowing the behind the scenes of how a movie is made. The fun trivia, the facts, the little pieces of information that add up to the story of how the movie is made really just brings out the movie whenever you watch it and you know those little things that it took to get there. It makes the viewing experience better when you watch a movie knowing how it was made, who made it, how long it took to get there. Director Catherine Hardwicke says that she was captivated by Kristen Stewart when she was on the set of the movie Adventureland. So Stewart was basically a shoo-in for the role of Bella, but finding the right Edward to play opposite of her was more of a challenge. Twilight's writer Stephenie Meyer had actually imagined Henry Cavill in the role when she was writing the novel. Of course, this would have been pre-Superman, so Cavill might have looked a little less like the Man of Steel and more like your average Joe. But after an audition with Kristen Stewart, it was Robert Pattinson who won over the director, and more importantly, won over the heart of Stewart. Now, Kristen Stewart was only 18 years old at the time, but she told the director that she felt a special connection with Pattinson, and overall, that it was love at first sight. Really? Love at first sight? Peter Facinelli was not originally cast as Edward's father, Carlisle Cullen. You guessed it, Henry Cavill was offered the role, but turned it down for unknown reasons. Facinelli was selected in his place. Besides Pattinson, besides Stewart, the movie brought in other young actors that would eventually blow up and become the huge stars. Blow up. Taylor Lautner had a fairly small role in this movie as Jacob, obviously teasing with some of the tension there in the end that his character would become more important later on in the series. The role of Jessica Stanley went to the relatively unknown Anna Kendrick. She got the part after 2 mix and match auditions with various actors. And that's going to do it for today's video. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this in the future. Thanks for coming to my movie night, and I'll see you in the next one. I gotta say, the hair game is strong with Robert Pattinson. Hey girl, I'm 1,000 years old and I drive a Volvo. Let me bite your neck.